Good morning, friends. Welcome to IT Varsity, a one-stop shop to learn all the technologies. I'm still in the process of setting up. Let me validate that you guys who are on YouTube live can see me and also listen to me. Okay. If there are any issues, you can ping on live chat. Let me. Yeah. So if you guys want to join my YouTube session, uh, just click on this link. I'm pasting it in the chat. Okay. And you can ask any questions if you have. So let's get on to the agenda. So today we will be starting on a 6 to 8 weeks plan, which is 3 to 4 months plan, 6 to 8 2 weeks plans. Okay, which is approximately 3 to 4 months. As if you follow this plan, based upon the certification you choose, you should be able to go ahead and give any of this big data developer certification. The certifications which I'll be covering are primarily from Hortonworks and Cloudera, but also I will try to give inputs on Databricks and Mapper also, up to best of our knowledge. Okay, so as part of today's topic, we will be primarily, as part of today's effort, we will be primarily creating categories for each of the certifications in discuss.itversity.com. And then I will come up with a plan for first bi-weekly plan. So as I have mentioned in last 2 weeks, our last two sessions, there are 2 developer certifications from Cloudera and 3 developer certifications from Hortonworks. And then there are several other things. So before getting into this, if you want to practice, if you don't have proper environment to practice, I will be glad to announce that we have something called labs.itversity.com. And here you can actually sign up for as low as $9.20 per month if you go for 6 month plan. Let me show the plans. So these are the plans available: $14.95 for 31 days, $34.95 for 93 days, and $54.95 for 185 days. As of now, we have Hortonworks 7-node cluster. We'll be extending further by covering as many technologies as possible very soon. Probably within a month, we'll come up with Cloudera cluster also, which will complement this existing one. We will not be able to support at the same level of Hortonworks cluster, but there will be an environment where you can actually explore all the tools from Cloudera perspective also, and it is complementary. You need to have this main plan to access the Cloudera cluster, MongoDB cluster, or Cassandra cluster, whatever we'll be setting up in future. You can access those for free, but you have to subscribe for one of these plans. And if you are a college-going student, there is a special for students. It is $74.95, which means $75 up to 730 days. So if you are in 3.1 or in BTech or 1.1 in MS, you can get up to 2 years subscription. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and go through the agenda. First, we will be creating categories for each of the certifications. Those who are following me, you guys might be familiar with this platform called discuss.itversity.com. So this is primarily a forums website, and today I will be creating categories for each of the certification, and we will have topics for each of them every 2 weeks, and you have to follow those things. Okay, so first I'm creating categories. It will just take 5 minutes. Bear with me, and then we will go ahead and create the topics. And while I create the topics, I'll be explaining what you need to do for each of the certifications. Okay. Okay, so here I'm creating a new category. It's let's CCS Spark and Hadoop developer. Okay, parent category, certifications, new category. Okay, don't worry about this about topic. I will be updating that later. First, let us just create the categories for each of the certifications. Okay, now I am creating another category. This time it is CCA. Let me get the appropriate term. If you have any question about these certifications, go to my YouTube channel. And there is a playlist called Big Data Certifications. And here, if you go through last uh, two, actually this should be named as five, last two sessions, which is 003 workshop and 004 workshop, they are primarily for Cloudera certifications overview and Hortonworks certifications overview. So if you want to get into details of what each of the certifications cover, you have to watch these videos in Big Data Certifications Workshop playlist. The playlist name is Big Data Certifications Workshop. Okay. So now if we go to Cloudera certifications, so Vikram, this is not actually training. I am coming up with a plan wherein you can follow this. There is a lot of content already available on my platforms. From the certifications perspective, every 2 weeks I will be publishing the plan, and then following that plan, you can actually prepare for the certification. And this is the first 2 week plan for multiple certifications. Okay, if you want to get live training, it's a different thing. I will not be covering in this. I will have publish those details later. But this is primarily for those who will not be able to attend my live classes for whatever reason and who want to pursue the certifications. I am coming up with a plan wherein they can actually follow that and make sure after 3 to 4 months they have enough confidence to go and face the certification. And there are no prerequisites for this course. You will be learning whatever is required as part of this plan. Okay, so the next certification name is CCA Data Analyst. So I'm creating CCA Data Analyst, and the category is certifications. Okay. Similarly, there are 3 certifications from Hortonworks, and I will be creating 3 more categories very quickly. The first one is HDP CD, parent category certifications. And then second one is HDP CD Java. Okay, and the third one is those who are on those who are not speaking, just go on to mute. Okay, I'm able to mute. And one more category, HDP CD Spark. I have created 5 categories. Similar to this, I will be creating categories for Databricks as well as Mapper certifications also. Okay, for now I'm primarily covering Cloudera and Hortonworks. Probably today when I get time, I will create more categories for for Mapper as well as Databricks. So whichever certification you are trying to learn or prepare, you can actually follow that category and prepare with a bi-weekly plan. Okay. So now I will go to the first category, the first subcategory of certifications, which is CCS Spark and Hadoop Developer. Okay, so if you go to the syllabus of it, so we'll follow the flow, whatever they have defined. Okay, so for CCS Spark and Hadoop Developer, the first thing is you should be able to import data from a MySQL database into HDFS using Scoop, export data to a MySQL database from HDFS using Scoop. So within 2 weeks, you should be familiar with this. Import is the most complex thing, and you should know or you should learn everything related to importing from a MySQL database into HDFS using Scoop. So there are multiple components in this. One is a MySQL database, which is a source database from which we need to copy the data, and then HDFS, which is our Hadoop cluster into which we have to copy the data. And Scoop is the technology which we want to use. So as part of the first 2 weeks plan, you need to get familiarized with the environment. You don't need to set up anything on your laptop if you are signed up to my lab. Otherwise, you need to have a quick start VM or Hortonworks sandbox. That one will actually take quite a bit of time, setting up Cloudera quick start virtual machine or Hortonworks sandbox. So I will provide links where you should go. Just give me a moment, okay? So I will provide you the details about how to set up the environment and all. Either you have to have Cloudera Quick Start VM or Hortonworks Sandbox, or if you have your own clusters, if you are already working using leveraging those clusters also, you should be able to prepare for the certification. If none of these are available, neither Quick Start VM nor Hortonworks Sandbox nor clusters in the work environment, then you can sign up for my lab, which is labs.itversity.com, and I provide MySQL database and a Hadoop cluster. Okay, so here what you have to make sure is within first 2 weeks you have to validate or set up. First thing, if you want to do it in your laptop, you need to have a 16 GB laptop, i7 quad core. Only if you have this configuration, you will be productive. Even with lesser configuration, you will be able to set up the Cloudera Quick Start VM or Hortonworks Sandbox, but it will be counterproductive. You will be running into out of memory issues so consistently, and it will eat up a lot of time. And also, when you try to troubleshoot those issues, you will be misled. You will not be able to get the information very quickly. So make sure if you want to set up Cloudera Quick Start VM or Hortonworks Sandbox, make sure you have 16 GB laptop, i7 quad core. Only then try to go with those. Okay, otherwise don't go with those. With the Cloudera Quick Start VM or Hortonworks Sandbox. The ideal scenario will be your clusters at your work environment. If you have that, go ahead and use those things to prepare for the certification. But just make sure that you have everything required to prepare for the for any of these certification. So first you need to go through curriculum and make sure whatever is covered in curriculum are part of your cluster. And last option, my lab, which is labs.itversity.com. Okay. Yes, can you stop streaming the video? I have minimized it, but probably it might come up again. Anyone, make sure you stop streaming the video. Unfortunately, there is no way for me to control. I tried doing that, but I could not achieve that. Okay. So last option, if you don't have environment, is to go with labs.itversity.com. As I have mentioned earlier, you can get lab access for $14.95 per month or $34.95 for 93 days, or $54.95 for 185 days. Okay, so make sure within first 3 days to 1 week, you have access to the environment, and then start working on Scoop, which requires connectivity to a source database and import into HDFS. So as you are just starting, it will take some time. So I'm limiting the first 2 weeks to one line item in the certification. But beyond this, you will be doing a lot of work on setting up the environment. Okay. So here I am creating a new topic. Step 1. I'll be naming them as steps. Okay, so there will be 8 steps. And in this, we will be set up environment and Scoop import. Okay. So I will be updating this topic later with all the details, but for now I will just provide high-level details. Okay. As part of the first step, we will be setting up environment or signing up to the lab or accessing existing cluster. And then perform below actions. Okay. First action is make sure all the technologies required for certification are available and available for use. So they are Scoop, MySQL is required, Scoop, HDFS, because one of the objective is to issue HDFS commands, and Flume, HDFS, Spark with Scala, Spark with Python, Hive, Impala, Avro tools. Okay. If you don't have access to, if you want to set up your own, I will actually define like this. Okay. Setting up virtual environment. Someone is not on mute. Can you go on to mute on your PC? I will give the details later here. Okay. And once you make sure all the technologies are required, learn Scoop import to get data from MySQL to HDFS. So this is the main item from the certification. Okay. So this is the 2 weeks plan for CCS Spark and Hadoop developer. Even for CCA data analyst, let me go to the curriculum of CCA data analyst here. If you go to CCA data analyst curriculum, even in this case, if you see the first line item is about importing data from a MySQL database into HDFS using Scoop. The major difference between Spark and Hadoop developer and data analyst is the amount of Hive. So here, the data analysis has to be performed using Hive, whereas in Spark and Hadoop developer, the emphasis is on Spark. In data analyst, there is no Spark at all. Whereas in CCS Spark and Hadoop developer, there are few topics related to Hive DDL where you have to create tables, etc. But you don't need to do any SQL as part of CCS Spark and Hadoop developer. Okay, so but as part of CCS Spark and Hadoop developer, the main emphasis is on Spark. Okay, and you need to be programmer in both Scala and Python. You don't need to be extensive. You don't need to have extensive programming skills using Scala and Python, but you need to have basic understanding, and all those basics will be covered as part of this plan. You will be able to pick up those things and prepare for the certification. Okay, so now I am creating a new topic. Under certifications, I am going to CCA data analyst, and I'm creating a new topic. Here also, step 01, setup, environment, and scoop import. Okay, so both are same. So irrespective of the, okay, title has already been used. Let me say data analyst. Okay, and now we'll get into the other Hortonworks certifications. And here, let me name this one as developer. Okay, just to make sure we have two different topics. So if you are preparing for CCS Spark and Hadoop developer, make sure you are in the CCS Spark and Hadoop developer. And if you have any questions, just reply to these topics, and then raise any questions, and then we'll be glad to assist you. Even if you gain knowledge and if you want to help others in future, because this will be I might not be conducting similar sessions in future, but whoever comes and asks me for a plan in future, I will ask them to follow these plans every 2 weeks. Follow these things, and in that case, if anyone asks questions and if you want to respond to those things, you are welcome to do so. Okay, in these categories, you will not be allowed to create topics. You will be allowed to only respond to these existing topics, and topics will be controlled by the by our team. Okay, but you can always ask any questions related to that topic. For example, if you have any issue setting up the environment or validating these tools such as MySQL, Scoop, Flume, HDFS, Spark with Scala, etc., you can just reply and ask here, and me or someone or the other will be responding to you. Okay, if we could not respond to you in these 2 weeks, we will take care of those things as part of the live session, which I will be talking like this every 2 weeks, but most likely we'll be responding for most of the questions. Hence, you will have progress every 2 weeks in the pursuit of preparing for the certification. Okay, now I am going back to the main page again. I'm choosing certifications here and choosing HDP CD. Now we are talking about Hortonworks certifications. Hence, let me close these two things and go here. And now let me search for Hortonworks certifications. Okay, so you can see there is a HDP certified developer, HDP certified Java developer, HDP certified Apache Spark. Okay, we will not be covering HCA, Hortonworks certified associate. It's just theory, all objective questions, and I don't see much of a value by giving that certification. So if you click on HDP certified developer. This is what we'll be covering as part of this topic. Here, if you see, you have these exam objectives and data sheet. You can click on this, or I think you can scroll down. So here you can see the objectives. Click on the objectives, and even this one starts with scoop import. Okay, but later topics it will change a little bit. But for now, for the first week, we will primarily focus on scoop import, and even for this certification. The other two certifications, there won't be any scoop. HDP-CD Java and also HDP-CD Spark. And also, if any one of you are willing to prepare only for cloud certifications, you can drop off from the call. Yeah, now I will be primarily talking about Hortonworks certifications, either YouTube live or even in this WebEx session. I will not be talking anything about Cloudera. Going forward, we will be creating topics for Hortonworks certifications. So if you are just following me for the Cloudera certifications, you can drop off. Yes, Leonard, there is someone in Dallas. Okay, for study, we will see once we actually create this group. You can ask that question as part of the topic, and probably you might find someone from Dallas. Okay, and also if I come across anyone, I will let you know. Vikram, this is different. This is for those who cannot join my live training for whatever reasons. Still, if they want to learn, they can follow my existing content, and I'm planning at a higher level to follow, and I will be providing all the details as part of this, and you can actually prepare for the certifications. There is one session which is already going live. Until it is done, I will not be planning any more anytime soon. Probably in April time frame, March or April time frame, I will be planning for next live session. Okay, so now I am creating this topic for HDP CD. Here also we are talking about scoop import, and in this case we don't need Spark, but we need Hive, Pig, and Tez. Pig, Tez, and also there is no Euro tools in this. Apart from that, rest of the stuff is same. I need to fix even the CCS data analyst. Okay, create topic. Now I'm going to the next category, next subcategory, which is HDP CD Java. Okay, I'll be fixing the content of each of these topics. I'm just doing live so that you are familiar with what my approach will be. Okay, here setup Hadoop environment and development environment. So here there will be significant difference. As part of this first step, we will be setting up environment or signing up to the lab for Hadoop, and then we have to set up Maven with Eclipse plugin to develop Java-based MapReduce programs. Here you don't need to worry with most of these things. Only thing they are worried about are HDFS and MapReduce. Okay, and also make sure you have Eclipse with Maven plugin of setup. Set up Eclipse with Maven plugin on your PC. So you will be using your PC for the development and the cluster to run your MapReduce programs. So I will actually provide the links which you need to follow to set up Eclipse and Maven plugin from my channel or from my website. Okay, I will update this also. If you don't have if you don't want to get access to the lab, or if you don't have any Hadoop clusters for you, I will elaborate on how to set up a virtual environment with proper references. Okay. Let me explicitly say Maven, and Eclipse, Maven. Okay, and the final topic, our final certification, which I will be covering, is again under under certifications. This time the subcategory is HDPCD Spark. Okay, so new topic, step 01, setup Hadoop and Spark environment, as well as IDE, which is again Eclipse with Maven, and then we will be adding Scala to it. Okay, so here also at a higher level it's the same thing, and then make sure all the technologies required for certifications are available for use. We just need HDFS and Spark with Scala, Spark with Python. And as part of the first 2 weeks, you will be you will be setting up Scala IDE along with Eclipse with Maven. Okay, so these are the things which you will be taking care. You will be just writing the Hello World program. We will not be covering anything from the certification for this one. So these are the things which you need to take care within first 2 weeks, and then we'll get into details. I will be coming up with the plan about what needs to be done on top of this thing. Okay, so as I have mentioned to you earlier, there will be the staff group who will be monitoring these topics. Only those guys will be able to edit or update these topics or create the new topics. Anyone who are following me, you just have to reply on that particular topic if you run into any issues, and we will be able to help you. So this is primarily to control and categorize all the issues which pops up at the time of preparation. And I will be doing only once for the first 3 to 4 months, and then it will be self-supported for all future aspirants who want to take the certifications. Okay, so everything related to for each of these topics will be means all the reference material related to each and every of these topics will be updated by end of day today, and from tomorrow morning you can just follow these topics and keep on practicing, and if you run into any issues, let us know. And for the first time, I have created these topics in live so that you understand what my approach will be. From the next time, most likely I will be pre-creating these topics, and you can I will just explain what you need to do for the further 2 weeks, going through each of these topics. I will not be doing these topics live as I have done today. Okay. So any questions here, either from live session or from WebEx? I will be glad to take. There is one question from Utkarsh. In certification exam, do we have to set up the environment, or they will provide lab? You don't need to set up the environment, but for practice, you need to have the environment. Hence, setting up the environment is only applicable for the learning purpose. At the time of certification, you will get all the instructions about how to use the existing setup. You don't need to set up anything at the time of certification, because you only have 2 hours for the exam, and setting up environment will take time. So the way it will work is they will be providing a remote desktop, which will be like your PC, where there will be Eclipse with Maven and other tools that are required, and also it will have access to the cluster. Okay, from remote desktop, you will be able to access their lab or cluster, and you have to perform the tasks. So whatever exposure you get by doing these topics, you have to follow them on the remote desktop. You will not be writing code on your laptop directly. Once you start the test, okay, there will be a plugin which will be installed, which will capture your screen, and which will be capturing the video through webcam. You need to have webcam while taking the certification, and someone will be monitoring you while taking the exam. And also they will provide details to connect to a remote desktop, and from there you have to do everything on the remote desktop. You should not use your laptop, and that remote desktop will be occupying your entire screen until you say you are done with the exam. Okay, I hope it answered your question, Utkarsh. Meanwhile, let me take the question from Leonard. He is asking, what's the link to the groups page? It's discuss.itversity.com, and you can go to see certifications, where you will see subcategories. Okay, if you go to discuss.itversity.com/c/certifications, it will take you to this to this main page of the category, and you see all the topics which are created are visible here, but there is a subcategory associated with these topics, hence the subcategory is highlighted. Okay. So Muni is asking, do we need to learn both Scala and Python? What is most used in real time? So both are equally prominent. For CCS certification, yes, you need to have basic understanding of both. But for HDP CD Spark certification, you can choose one of them, Scala or Python, and you can prepare using one programming language, and you can give test using one programming language. But for CCA, they're expecting you to have at least a basic knowledge of both Scala and Python programming languages. And as part of my curriculum content, you will be learning the basics of Scala and Python to crack the certification, and from the application development perspective, both are similar programming languages. Once you learn one programming language, you will be able to adapt to the other one very quickly. As per my observation, Python is more used in data processing, but with Scala is more popular in Spark. Okay, so having knowledge of both will work. Going forward, you have to have knowledge in multiple programming languages, and you should be able to figure out which programming language is better for a given use case, and you should adapt to it. But for data processing perspective, as of now, Scala and Python are the ones to go, and Java is not that important. Okay, very good question, Moni. So, any other question here? Again, I'm going to the YouTube live. We have time. I can take the questions, but if I didn't get any questions for 2 minutes, I will wrap up. What are the things I need to learn for Spark with Scala? So you will see that as part of the next plan, but I will explain at a higher level. If you already have the environment, you should not waste time. You need not waste these 2 weeks of time. So you need to have a very good understanding of Scala collections, okay, and then how to write Scala anonymous functions. So these are the main things, and also how to develop functional, how to program functionally using Scala. Those three are the most important. I am writing here Scala collections, okay, and then basic programming constructs such as for loop, while loop, etc. And then uh, defining classes, case classes, classes and case classes, and developing functions. So these are the things which you need to focus on. How do we learn setting up the environment, Niranjan? So already I have videos on in my channel and website. I will provide those things as reference in all those topics about how to set up the environment. If you want to set up using virtual machines, or if you have to sign up to the lab, both will be covered. So just wait, and I will provide the details within those topics. Just follow those topics, and your question will be answered in next 8 to 12 hours. What is the adoption of Spark out there now? Are many companies adapting it or still relying on MapReduce? As per my observation, more and more companies are actually embracing Spark because of several reasons. One, for smaller to medium data sets, Spark is very fast compared to MapReduce. And second, if you have to develop a application using MapReduce based technologies, there are several technologies. You have Hive, you have Scoop, you have MapReduce, and both all these three are three different things, and you need to understand syntax of each of these things, and then you have to come up with wrappers such as Uzi to integrate all these actions. So development life cycles are pretty wide, or it will take a long time to develop a MapReduce based application. If you embrace Spark, you can use either Scala as or Python as programming language, and you can connect to the source database using JDBC. You can so you can replace Scoop for most of the scenarios. You can write Hive queries as part of your Spark code. So the integration of Hive can be directly done in Spark. Hence, your development lifecycle will be much, much smaller. And also, if you just have to join two data sets using MapReduce, you have to write at least 200 lines of code. Whereas in Scala, Scala or Python with Spark APIs, within 6 to 7 lines of code, you can join two data sets. So your development cycle is much, much smaller when it with Spark compared to MapReduce. Hence, more and more people are embracing Spark. So large data sets, if you want to process petabytes of data once in a while, then Spark will not have so much memory, right? So you will be running out of memory issues if you try to use Spark-based solutions. Hence, in those areas, probably you might have to consider Hive or any MapReduce-based approach. And if you think from the enterprise perspective, 90% of the use cases deal with small to medium data sets. They don't deal with larger data sets. Okay. So in when it comes to larger data sets, MapReduce might be the better solution for most of the cases. But small to medium to even when I say large, I am talking about very large data sets. For other scenarios, Spark works very well. So Venkat Narayan is asking, what about job offers in India for Spark with Scala? Is it better to learn Python also? So as of now, I just posted an article on LinkedIn. People, instead of testing on programming skills, unfortunately, they are talking about Hive commands or Scoop commands or Spark APIs. Okay, so in India, that inefficiency is a lot higher. To get job into big data, Spark is the main thing in India, and then you have to have proficiency in Scala and Python, and also you should know Hive, Scoop, etc. To crack the interview and get the job. Okay, typically you should search for data engineer type of roles. Again, in India, the job description will be can be misleading. If you go to dice.com and or even LinkedIn, if you search for data engineer, it will give you the details of what the companies are looking for. Okay, don't search for software developer or software engineer. Search for data engineer or big data engineer job titles, and it might give you better visibility about what industry is expecting. Okay, Leonard have asked the same question in both WebEx as well as YouTube Live. Yes, Leonard, what is what? So data scientist is a different beast altogether. Okay, data science is all about understanding the data and come up with the suggestions. And as part of the understanding the data, you have to collect the data, you have to process the data, you have to clean the data, you have to do so much of stuff. Yes, and data scientists typically do the analysis on the data and make the decisions. And data engineer role is primarily to get the data for him. Okay, and the data scientists need not use big data to actually do the analysis. The data scientist can even do analysis using Excel or R, whatever he is familiar with. But when it comes to the analysis, when it comes to analyzing very large volumes of data, data scientists should be aware that there are technologies such as big data to process larger data sets, and he has to work with the IT team to get the data the way he need. In the smaller organization, data scientist role will be a lot more hands-on, and he might have to understand Spark, Hadoop, and a little bit in a lot more detail. But in general, in the medium to bigger organizations, a data scientist is a specialized role, and data engineer complement the data scientist. Yeah, probably. No, I don't think there will be more data scientist jobs. Probably posting jobs in LinkedIn is a little bit expensive. So, and data scientists, they might be posting a little bit more opportunities for data scientists in LinkedIn. Otherwise, data engineer roles will be higher. So to get a better picture, it's better to go to dice.com. Okay, and search for data engineers, and make sure you go to the advanced search. Don't search directly here. Okay, with all the words. Or job title, go to data, search for data engineer as job title. Okay. And I want to delete this. So there are 256 positions. Again, don't worry too much about these things. They will be posting with different titles. Sometimes they call it as Hadoop engineer, etc. So these are the different opportunities that are available for data engineer. Okay, and if you go for data scientist, okay, there are 330 jobs. Okay, so again here don't go with the numbers directly. Sometimes what will happen, some data engineer positions, see, they cannot change this data scientist to different phrase, but when it comes to data engineer, they can say something like Hadoop engineer also. Okay, so there are a few with the title Hadoop engineer. Here we are actually looking for the phrase, so that's why we are only getting limited opportunities. And sometimes they might name it as Spark engineer. Okay, just if you go with the keyword data engineer, lot of the enterprises will not actually post it on the data engineer. So the way probably to search is here you can say 1 minute. Okay. So here you can say with at least one words, data and engineer, and then you can search for Hadoop. Okay, and then find tech jobs. So you need to understand more about these job portals. You see here. So there is a position called data architect also, and data architect is related to data engineering, not to the data scientist. So the reason why you are getting fewer positions could be because you are only searching for the data engineer title. Okay, data engineer can be represented in multiple ways, whereas in data scientist it's very specific. You cannot probably there will be data scientist and there will be a senior data scientist or junior data scientist. You cannot tweak a lot. Whereas data engineer is more of a hands-on technical role, and it might be represented in different way by different companies or interpreted by in different manner. So you need to understand all the phrases related to data engineer, and you have to search based on that to get actual number of positions. Okay, does that answer your question, Leonard? So testing is not matured yet when it comes to big data. In general, testing is actually not losing prominence. You have to be programmer first, and you should be able to work on anything. So I don't know much about testing. And also, even if you think in regular terms, in regular applications, uh, testing is more relevant when it comes to web applications and enterprise. When it comes to web applications, but when it comes to analytics, data warehousing, etc., testing is not that relevant. Okay, because already we will be processing well-tested data, well-formatted data. Hence, testing is not that relevant. When it comes to big data, testing is not actually matured yet. They are not even defining the proper a proper job description for testing purposes. I cover both Naidu, both Scala as well as Python, and you have to follow the plan which I am defining for the certifications, and you will be getting the knowledge. If you go for CCS Spark and Hadoop developer, you will learn Python up to the extent where you can clear the certification. Scala, because it's relevant for multiple certifications, I'm going a little bit depth with few of the certifications, but with Python, you will understand about how to do the data processing, etc. So you will learn Python as well as Scala if you follow these plans. First of all, you need to decide which certification you want to go with. That being said, thank you very much. We are all on spot with the time. I cannot take any more questions. If you have any questions, you can always follow me or post those questions on discuss.itversity.com. So general questions, you just go to main page, click on new topic, choose the appropriate category, and you can ask the question, and I will be glad to help. But when it comes to certifications, go to the category called certifications here. And then there are subcategories for each of the certifications, which I'm going to cover in next 3 to 4 months, and ask questions on the relevant topic with respect to the certification. Okay. And that being said, those who are on YouTube Live, please like this session, like this video if you like the content of it, and try to share with your friends by just clicking on this, and you can share with your friends. And also, if you don't have environment, do remember that I have labs.itversity.com, where I will be providing subscription to the lab at $14.95 for 31 days, $34.95 for 93 days, and $54.95 for 185 days. And also there is a special plan for students. Okay. And that being said, we'll catch up in 2 weeks. As I have mentioned, I will be updating the topics with all the relevant details so that you actually make some progress within next 2 weeks, and we'll continue as we move forward. That being said, thank you. Bye.